talk today. I'm very proud to be at the launch of this association, and there's no doubt we have a crisis when the temperature of one's body, or possibly even the colour of one's shirt, can determine how welcome you are in a country. But I'm reminded that in Chinese the word for crisis is composed of two characters. One means danger and one means opportunity. And I want to suggest to you there is an opportunity in this crisis, and that opportunity comes from digital marketing or digi-marketing. What do I mean by digi-marketing? Well, I don't mean this, and I don't mean this, and I don't mean this, and I certainly don't mean that. Digital marketing is when marketing takes place primarily in digital channels. What do I mean by digital channels? I mean channels that convey information by its numerical value rather than by its amplitude. Typical digital channels, the most famous one, of course, is the internet. That's a website. A website can convey news. A website can convey video, the content we used to call television. If you remember, we used to name content and devices with the same name. So I would watch television on a television. I would listen to radio on a radio. And I would make a phone call on a phone. Well, now, of course, that's obsolete. Now I can watch the content previously known as television over an internet connection, on a mobile device, on a game player, on almost anything. And the range of digital devices is just getting wider and wider and wider. And that nature of marketing, I believe, will change as digital devices become more and more widespread. And I want to talk about three topics. First, why I think this is an opportunity. Second, a new 4 Ps, a new way to look at digital marketing. And thirdly, things that you can do right now, very inexpensively, even in a time of crisis, to improve your digital marketing. So let's start with the opportunity. Why is it an opportunity? Well, first of all, it's dramatically underspent. Although people's time has moved to digital channels around the world, the advertiser's money, the marketer's money, has not followed the market. And in fact, if I look around the world, I see the internet, 1.6 billion people at least, spread almost entirely around the globe, with the possible exception of Africa, which is a little white there. The darker the color, the more the penetration of internet. And of course, Asia now makes up over 40% of the internet users. And we already know that emerging economies have more internet users than developed economies, and they're continuing to grow. So the internet is not only a global phenomenon, it's an Asian phenomenon. China, of course, is the largest country of internet users, almost 300 million of them, and that's only 22% penetration. And most of Asia, including Thailand, is around 21–22% penetration. A lot more room to grow. So the internet will become an Asian phenomenon. And interestingly enough, as we're going to see in a moment, the internet is vastly participative. And it turns out that Asians are participating far more in the internet than one would expect per head. So, for example, China not only has the largest number of internet users, it has the largest number of bloggers. It's estimated that something like 54% of Chinese internet users are actually writing, not just reading, they're writing their own blogs on the internet. And so if we look around the world, we see that people's time has moved about 30% online. And what's happened to marketing expenditures? They're about 11% online. In Thailand, in Bangkok at least, surveys tell us that amongst the upper 20% of the population, what they call business decision makers, they are probably spending more time on the internet than they are spending watching TV. And yet in Thailand, expenditure by marketing on the internet is about 1.1% of total marketing expenditures, whereas TV is about 50%. And around the world, it's not much different. There's a gap between where marketers are putting their money and where consumers are putting their time, which means the medium is underspent. And remember, that's just the internet. Digital media are far wider than the internet. So it's an underspent medium, And because it's underspent, that means there's a chance your competitors aren't there yet, and there's more opportunity for you to make an impact with fewer dollars. So, an underspent medium. Second, it is the future. We can argue about whether people's time is going to be predominantly online, predominantly digital in 2 years, or 5 years, or 10 years, or 15 years. But I've never met anyone who thinks it's not going to happen. People are not going to go back to their Walkman. They're not going to give up that iPod and replace it with a Walkman. It's not going to happen. So digital is going to happen, shift happens, and in the end, digital media will predominate. And so now is the time to learn, because now is the time to adapt. Darwin talked about the species that survives is not the strongest or the most intelligent, it's the one which is most capable of adaptation. And this is going to happen. So why not learn now? It's like riding a bicycle. We need some new skills, but once we've acquired those skills, they'll be with us for life. And so now is the time to experiment, now is the time to learn about digital media. You'll never forget, nobody knows how to do it right first time. So we have to learn, trial and error. So it's underspent, it is the future. Thirdly, it is trackable. Everything that happens in digital is trackable. There's a famous saying by John Wanamaker, half the money I spend on advertising is wasted. But the trouble is, I don't know which half. Well, in digital marketing, half the money you spend will be wasted, but you will know which half. And you will be able to reallocate resources away from what doesn't work to what does work. So very quickly, that half that's wasted can be eliminated. So underspent, the future, trackable. That's why I think it's an opportunity. How is it different? Well, I think many of you know the 4 Ps already. So you know product, price, place, promotion. And that's what we teach in marketing. We teach that as being the basis of good marketing. I'm going to suggest to you that in digital, there's a different 4 Ps. The most important one is permission. Although many people see digital as very intrusive, I can send a message straight to your pocket now. I can send you an SMS to your mobile device, in your pocket or in your bag. I can intrude right in. I can send an advertisement to the website that you're watching now, and I can tailor that advertisement to the website you've been visiting. And some people say, wow, this is very intrusive. But it's also very, very easy to block. If I don't like your SMSs, if I find them boring and irrelevant, I can call my operator and I can block every future communication from them. As we're going to see in a moment, if I don't like the advertisements you send to my website, I can block them out. And digital media is tremendously controllable by the individual, which means that if marketers do things that consumers don't appreciate, they will block them out. Which is why good digital marketing starts with permission. We want people to opt in to receive my email. If I receive email from you that I didn't ask for, I call it spam. I hit the little button that says this is spam, and if enough people do that, you will be prevented from sending email to anyone. So tremendously controllable. So we need clear opt-in, we need easy opt-out, and we need to be asking customers, how often do you want my communication? Many people ask me if I'm doing email magazines, email newsletters, should they go out once a week, once a month, once every 3 months? And I always say the same thing, ask the customer. Some people want it daily, some people want it annually. Why not ask what people want and deliver that? And of course, people expect contextual relevance. In digital marketing, people have grown to expect that the messages will be tailored to them. I don't want to have marketing messages that are irrelevant to me. If you send those to me, I will block you out. For example, this is Sanuk.com. Probably the longest homepage in the world, I think. Now, if I were to download a little program, which is free, called AdBlock Plus, this is